Hi, I'm Sharon Carlson, the Professional Learning and Development Manager here at Storypark. Today I'm joined by Laurie Hislop from KU, and we're going to be discussing how they've embraced the use of Storypark COPs. So COPs is a network community of practice hub. It allows an organisation to share and build a community of all of their educators from all of their different services. So Laurie, the floor is yours.
As you said, my name is Laurie Hislop and I'm a practice facilitator in the professional learning team at KU Children's Services. And one of my roles is to help manage our Storypark network and generally just support our centres in using Storypark.
So just talking about your organisation, how many services do you have?
So we have 122 services across Australia. Most of those services are in New South Wales, but we do have a service in Queensland and a number of services in Victoria.
So thinking about your community of practice hubs that we've created for you, what was the problem to solve? Why did you want one of these hubs in the beginning?
We have different practice managers who manage different services. And I thought there was potential for them to be using these hubs to get their teachers, their directors together to share information and just to come together. And we have different subject matter experts who also, I thought there was potential for them to use this as the hubs as well. So we have people like a sustainability manager, and so she's passionate about sustainability, and to be able to share these ideas with like-minded people within the organisation. I look after STEM. I've got a real interest in STEM, so I thought there was a possibility that other people who were wanting to connect with these STEM ideas and these STEM concepts could work. The practice managers who manage all these teams of people, they're remote, and I thought this was a good place to store and think together. So I guess that was this idea of not really sure how we were going to use it, but this idea that there was possibilities. So one of our hubs actually focuses just on the Victorian educators, because they actually have quite a different set of needs and they're still quite spread out, but they still need support and a way of connecting together. Thinking even about our service in Queensland, when the person who manages that service actually lives in Newcastle, that's a long way away. That's a day's drive. That's an hour's flight. So to be able to connect that centre with other centres is a really important thing to provide these communities of practice. So there's an opportunity to share thinking and share ideas beyond the centre and with other centres. This idea that we might be physically distant but still connected is, I think, one of the fabulous things about these hubs. They've provided this tool for connection. And in COVID, I know we're not talking about COVID probably, but while we've had these hubs in place now for a couple of years, really. Now they're coming into their own. In a COVID environment when we are really not allowed to visit centres and go into centres, now they're really just coming into their own, more so than last year. So for us, COVID has actually forced us to be a little bit more innovative, and the hubs, having these community practices, these hubs, has really been a wonderful tool for us.
So thinking about, and I know we initially weren't going to be talking about COVID, but it is something that 2020 has brought around all of these new challenges and put barriers in our way, in the way that we engage generally with each other. What are the types of ways that you've been using the hubs during this time to stay connected?
I'm thinking about one of the practice managers and her hub. And she has all these teachers who haven't been able to visit each other. She hasn't been going to visit them. And they come together. We use a multifaceted approach. So we do use Teams meetings so we can connect virtually. But it's in Storypark and in these hubs that we can actually keep and store the information in a way that's accessible to go back and revisit. So looking at some of these hubs, these are the kind of comments you might read in the hub in some of the hubs is, I just thought I'd share this with you, that kind of comment, or I'm wondering, these kind of questions and these kind of thinking, or this idea of shared examples of thinking or philosophy, or, oh, here's some great PL, because you have to admit that 2020 has been the year of online learning, and some of it has been exceptional and something you really don't want to miss. So in these community hubs, it's like you can hear them talking amongst themselves. Oh, I've just signed up and registered for this great PL, or I did this and it was fabulous and this is what I learned and you've really got to go and do this. So they started resourcing themselves or each other, and this is where they connected. I'm not sure if your inbox in your email is like mine, but mine is out of control. But Storypark controls it. Storypark organises it. You can go back and find the information you want, and that's what we've loved about these hubs. The other thing I guess we're using it for is things like readings, professional literacy and ideas on sustainability. Deb, in our sustainability manager, she's always giving literature offerings, some great books or things like that. Is it a brush turkey or is it a bush turkey? Have a think about that. Oh, there are community grants. So there's ideas for just actually information sharing, basic things like, morning tea ideas or book lists on education for sustainability, something like that. Staying in touch. These are great resources. The podcasts that are with KU have started doing podcasts, making sure people know this is available. And the number of people who haven't realised that Storypark have great blogs and resources as well, and that you have your own YouTube channel, being able to share things like that and find the right resource, it's just been fabulous. We have this in our STEM group. People have discovered digital books and book creators. So we've had people starting to share the digital books they've been making, and that then provides ongoing learning as essentially the teachers teach the other teachers, we teach ourselves, and we keep inspiring ourselves to do better things. One of my favourite is at one of our centres, they use a night vision camera because they had foxes come into the playground and get into the chickens. So we shared that story about the night vision camera. So now I have a centre on one side of Sydney talking to a centre on the other side of Sydney, totally disconnected and physically apart, but they're able to share and come together and help each other understand and provoke more thinking and provoke different practice. I just love this idea of challenging each other. That wouldn't have happened unless we'd been using something like this. People with the same ideas coming together. So we're using these hubs for different reasons, uniting people who have the same subject matter interest, as well as those in communities that really just can't come together.
Great.
I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you. It sounds like you're using it for some really wonderful sharing, so that collaboration and sharing, but also the resource bank or the library that then you can pop in and pop out of as you need to find various resources.
And the fact you can find it. So someone said to me the other day about safe searches. How do you do a safe search? I could actually just direct it. You're in the STEM group. Go and have a look. There's a story on how you set up a safe search that the eSafety Commissioner has left us an article. It's so easy, and it's just there. And I don't have to find another email or redo something. It's just this idea. It's like a library of resources that you can go back to and easily find.
You've spoken a lot about the collaboration between educators and services that are siloed and bringing them all together. What about from an organisational perspective? How have you found the sharing of information that way? How's the network office, if you like, utilised it?
We have the practice managers who all have their own, they manage their own little hubs, and they're able to then share some compliance stuff as well. Hey guys, remember we need this or that. While compliance is one area, because we have a permanent relief team as well, and so they have a different set of needs, and it's been a really helpful thing for them to stay connected as a team. That's probably got a little bit more of a compliance lens to it. Hey, have you seen this? Remember, we're doing a concierge program. Remember, you have to look at that. So while there is a little bit of compliance, I think the main reason we're using it is for professional learning, and I'm really excited about that. The focus seems to be mainly using this for pedagogy and to really change practice and think about that.